Good morning, and we're still driving the Touareg. Today's the last day we got the Touareg. I shot a video yesterday, I'll link it below, kind of giving you driving impressions and a sort of overview of what it's like to drive the Touareg. But what I didn't cover yesterday and what I want to cover today is like, there's a lot of interesting little things in this car that are like really worth exploring. So this video is just going to be looking at some of the interesting bits in this car that it does a bit differently because it's a Touareg and it's kind of a premium flagship, top of the stable kind of vehicle. So yeah, so let's get into that. Right, so first up is this sort of analog dial in the middle of its active info display. So this part of the display is pretty standard as it is in most new Volkswagens. You can kind of switch through a variety of features. But other VWs have the screen sort of edge to edge, and in the Touareg what they've gone and done is they've added these sort of analog dials, the rev counter and the speedometer. In the center you've got your typical 9.2 inch really premium display. You've got your climate controls, nothing unusual there, except this one has a heated steering wheel button on the far left here and 3 empty buttons which don't do anything, and 2 empty buttons on this side that don't do anything. You put the car in reverse, and this is pretty cool. You actually have different reversing options here. So if you're hitching a trailer, if you're pulling into a docking alley, if you're parallel parking, there's all kinds of options. It also gives you the option to adjust the screen's brightness and color in case you don't like what you're seeing out the back. It has all this sort of standard stuff. You've got your heated seats over here. This button's really interesting. If you turn that on, then there's actually air that blows out of the back of the seat here, cooling your neck. So on like a really hot day, if you're driving along, you can turn that on and there's a cold sort of waft of air breathing down the back of your neck. In the front here you have a single USB port where you can plug a phone into, and you have your cigarette lighter over there. This binnacle closes up as well. It's got 3 cup holders here, 2 big ones and a small one. The center one is the perfect size for a tin of Red Bull, that 250ml tin. It's the perfect size for that. And over here are more missing buttons. What is interesting is there's an auto hold feature and there's a handbrake feature. This car does not have a start-stop system, so it does not switch itself off when you park it. You've got a height adjustment here. If you lower the car, it'll automatically adjust back to riding height when you start driving. The lowering is simply for loading. Then you have 2 different options for raising the car if you're going to go off-road. Here you have the sort of driving modes. As you flick between those, it changes on the screen as well, and you can see all the different modes that you kick into. In the center armrest binnacle you also have a single USB port. This is not very deep, but it's big enough for a phone, maybe a set of keys and your wallet. So the lighting system is really interesting. You have this button over here. There's no sort of dial where you can switch it like in other VWs. But basically you press it and it can go to auto, which is where you probably want to leave it. You can do your dipped high beams and you can do your side lights. It's got front fog lights and it's got rear fog lights. In the front of the car you'll see that the lights are all LEDs, and when you turn the lights on, that's sort of what you see. The minute you turn the indicator on, those LEDs go off and they actually become the indicator. Around the back here we've got the boot, and it's completely keyless. It's one of those sort of swing your foot underneath it and it does open itself as long as you have the key in the pocket. Nothing too fancy, but still pretty cool. And then in the actual boot you've got this thing over here which is actually adjustable. You have to lift this mat out the way. Once you do, you can adjust the depth of this thing and it actually extends. So you could have it at an angle, or you can kind of have it level like that, but it's adjustable and it's quite cool. If you're packing stuff in the boot, you can pack something on that side, you can push this thing right up to it, and your cargo is secure. The back here you have a bunch of switches. If you press that, it actually lowers the car and it drops the whole boot a bit lower, making it easier to load cargo. The button to the left of that actually pushes out the tow bar, which is a completely electronic process. No intervention involved. You don't need to touch it. And then when you want to put it away, you press that button. And the tow bar automatically puts itself away. There are two levers at the back here that you can pull, and those will release the seats and folds the seat in. The other cool thing is you have this cover which adjusts and slides up and down this thing based on the holes in the boot. So you can see the minute I close the boot, that cover is lowered by itself. So you kind of always have the cover on. When you open the boot, it lifts the cover. It's sometimes annoying in the car if you have the cover on, you open the boot, gives you kind of a small gap to load everything in. Not in the Touareg. It opens that for you and closes it again when you close the boot. And then you have the back of the Touareg. Nothing fancy. There are no sort of trays or anything here. The center armrest literally just has sort of your 3 cup holder thing, 2 big ones, 1 small one, all pretty standard, except for this. In the center here, you have dual climate control, which is pretty standard. You can adjust the temperature for each passenger in the back. But when you kick this little thing open at the bottom here, there are 2 USB ports, a lighter socket, and a 230 volt charging socket. So you could actually plug your laptop in the back here and work on your laptop while you're being driven around in your Touareg. And then the last thing I want to show you is the vehicle settings. So you've got all your kind of normal stuff there. You can use hand gestures to sort of change the screen. But inside you'll see there's like this colored line. It's kind of a peachy pink color at the moment. If you don't like that, you can change that. You go over here to vehicle, and you go to settings, and you go down to background lighting, and you can actually change the entire range of the color. So if we make it a more pink, not more pink, let's make it blue. It changes the color of the sort of lighting strips on the inside of the car. And actually, if you have a look at the dash over here, you'll see the lines underneath the sort of data there changes color as well. So we come back here and we make it green, for instance. You'll see, for starters, the dash actually goes green, and then you have a green lighting strip all the way around the car. And you can go kind of different colors here. We can make it red. I mean, there's like a whole range of colors to suit whatever you want. You can even make it completely white if that's your thing. And if you really don't like the lights, you can just turn them off completely. But that's no fun. Lights are cool. I like it blue. Let's make it blue there. There we go. That's pretty cool. And then the dash over here is blue as well. And that's it for the Touareg. It's a really great car with a couple of really fascinating features. Volkswagen really have gone the extra mile in making this car stand out from everything else in the Volkswagen stable. It's comfortable to drive. It's got tons of cool features. It's absolutely the SUV that I would buy if I was buying a bigger SUV.